Here's a particular kind of pain that first-generation children know, and it doesn't have a clean name in English. It's the pain of being caught between two worlds. The world your family built with sacrifice and silence, and the world that is calling your name from somewhere just outside the door. My mother tore my letter when I was 18 because she was terrified of losing me to the second world. 7 years later, I funded my niece's college, and in doing so, I think I finally understood both worlds well enough to stop needing to choose between them. That's what I want to talk about today. If you're first gen, you already understand the invisible curriculum, the set of rules that were never written down but that governed everything. Stay close, contribute, don't want too much. Be a success, but not the kind that takes you somewhere we can't follow. These rules weren't malicious. They were survival logic from a different era, a different country, a different kind of scarcity. My grandparents came with nothing. My parents built something from that nothing. And the way you protect something built from nothing is, you hold it close, you don't scatter it, you keep the family intact. I understood this intellectually from a very young age. What I didn't understand was that I had also internalized it. That part of me believed the rule too. That wanting it was a kind of betrayal. That internal conflict is what made the moment so devastating. Because my mother tearing the letter didn't just take away the opportunity. It confirmed the fear I already had about myself, that my ambitions were too big, too separate, too much. It took me years to untangle my own shame from her fear. The years between the letter and Amara are years I think of as translation years. I was trying to learn how to translate between two languages, not literally, but emotionally. How to want big things and still be the person my family needed me to be. How to have ambition that didn't feel like abandonment. This is an ongoing project for most first-gen kids, and I want to say that clearly. There is no finish line. You don't arrive at a place where the two worlds are perfectly reconciled. You get better at holding them. What helped me? First, I stopped trying to explain myself to people who didn't have the vocabulary. You cannot explain what it means to someone who has never seen it as a possibility. That's not cruelty. It's a language gap. I stopped needing that translation to be perfect. Second, I got very specific about what I actually wanted. Not the name, not the prestige, the work. I wanted to build things, to solve problems. I could do that from more than one place. Third, and this one took the longest, I gave my mother permission, in my own mind, to have been wrong. This sounds simple. It was not. Giving your parents permission to have made a mistake is one of the biggest acts of love and maturity I know. Because you're not forgiving them in spite of their sacrifice. You're doing it because of it. Their sacrifice and them your understanding. Not your silence, your actual understanding. When I met Amara, really sat down and saw her, what I saw was a kid who was already learning the invisible curriculum, already making herself smaller, already framing her ambitions as if it's okay, if it works out, if the family is fine with it. That hedging language, I knew it. I grew up speaking it. And I thought, what would have changed for me if one person, one adult in my orbit, had simply said, no, full size. You go full size. I became that person for Amara. What that looked like was not grand speeches. It was granular. It was sitting with her and going through every college website and refusing to let her filter by distance from home. It was having the conversation openly more than once about the difference between leaving and abandoning. It was being the living proof, sitting right in front of her, that you can leave and come back, that you can be ambitious and still love your family, that the door opening for you doesn't mean the door closes on them. The money was real and it mattered, but the story I was telling her was the deeper thing. Amara's send-off dinner was at my mother's house. My mother cooked. That's important. She cooked the big meal, the one with all the dishes that take days, the meal she makes when something matters, at some point during the evening. Amara's mother, my sister, said something to my mother about the college fund, about what I'd done over the years, and my mother looked at me across the table. She didn't say anything, but I saw it, the recognition. Not of the money, of the pattern, that I had found a way to do for Amara what she hadn't been able to do for me. And that I'd done it without leaving her behind. That look, that's the closest we've ever come to talking about the letter. And I really think it was enough, not because it resolved everything. Because some things don't resolve, they just become quieter. But because we were both in that room, both part of the story. Both responsible for who Amara gets to become. That's what winning looks like in a first-gen family. Not one person breaking free, everyone finding a new language together. If you're first-gen and you're watching this, if you're carrying someone's fear alongside your own ambition, I want you to hear this. Your full size is not a betrayal. Your ambition is not an insult to their sacrifice. It is the point of their sacrifice. Go full size, and then reach back. That's it. That's the whole thing. See you next week.